To build and play Havoc Rover so that way you can play them well, regardless of whether or not you passed the 5th grade. My name is Braxbone, and let's talk about Rover. Havoc Rover is the first character in the game to use a sight, which means I'm probably going to main them. While a lot of Wuthering Waves character kits are incredibly complex, Havoc Rover has one objective: to make you forget that you're playing a gacha game. The damage that they output is close to the amount that my high school bully did to my mental health, and there's literally no reason to pull for a 5-star anymore because this is the first MC that doesn't feel like a 4-star. First off, Havoc MC has a cool basic attack combo where they become a flying type Pokemon, but we don't really care about that. Havoc Rover's Forte circuit bar fills up from basic attacks and using their skill, and when it's full, you can use a heavy attack and activate Umbra Eclipse. How does Havoc Rover cut their hair? Umbra Eclipse it. This is essentially a stance change for Havoc Rover where they decide to go sicko mode. Rover gains enhanced basic and heavy attacks, as well as an enhanced skill that absolutely beats. The only thing that doesn't get enhanced is the Resonance Liberation, which is completely understandable. Insanely strong ability turns Havoc Rover from a decent DPS into a reality-altering god. The reality that's being altered is that new health bar. Havoc Rover has 2 passives, one that increases Havoc damage and one that gives more energy per hit, both while in their enhanced state. For intro skill, Havoc Rover dishes out some Havoc damage, and for outro skill, Havoc Rover becomes a support. They reduce the damage you take overall by making sure the enemy team dies. On top of that, all of Havoc Rover's sequence nodes are free, and though you can only get 2 as of making this video, they're all pretty helpful. Like S1 that gives a huge skill damage bonus, and most importantly, S2, which resets your skill cooldown after you've entered your enhanced state. Stack up all of that with Havoc Res Shred from S4, S5 basic attack bonus, and 325 crit rate, and you quite literally have the most absurd free-to-play damage in the game. So, how do you play it? Well, outside of just deleting everything from the game, Havoc Rover actually plays very similarly to Chien, where you basically never want to play them outside their enhanced state. However, Havoc Rover can also be used in Quick Swap. With your second sequence node, you'll always want to skill before entering your Dark Surge, even if your gauge is already full, because it resets your skill cooldown. So you can quickly get out 2 skills to grab more energy and deal more damage. I'll go over the rotation more in the team section, but for now, level up your Forte circuit first, Resonance Liberation second, skill also second, yeah, I didn't really think that one through, and let me teach you the #1 tip for playing Havoc Rover, right after this message from today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by I need to come clean with you. When you're playing Wuthering Waves, you're not actually playing Havoc Rover. You're playing Dreamless. For some reason, they made the Echo in this game the actual main character. Dreamless is basically just the king of curses. The reason Dreamless is so busted on Havoc Rover is because it actually has an extra effect that makes it so that after you use your Resonance Liberation, Mother's damage gets increased by 50% for the next 5 seconds. That 50% damage increase is actually absurd and makes Havoc Rover a ridiculously high potential DPS character. Now, the best setup for Havoc Rover is the Sun Sinking Eclipse setup, all 5 pieces. When fully stacked, it gives up to a 40% Havoc damage bonus, which will apply to the entire kit. So if I were you, I would get to farming the dog, the percussionist, and the tentacle monster. For main stats, you'll want to go with a 4-3-3-1-1 setup. The 4 setup can work for early game whenever you're low on crit, but the full 5-piece set is going to be better 99% of the time. On your 4-cost stream list, you'll want crit rate or damage, but later on when you get S6 unlocked, you'll likely just go crit damage. For the 3-cost, you'll want Havoc damage, and for the 1 cost, you'll want attack percent. As for substats, getting a good crit ratio is important, but other than that, you'll want to focus on getting to 130% ER, so that way you can actually get your Resonance Liberation up pretty frequently. And outside of those, any damage bonuses are good, and attack percent is also solid. So here's a build summarized for those of you guys who are like me, and have an absolutely horrendous goldfish tier memory. Despite the many trifles you may encounter while being free-to-play, none can compare to the challenge of reaching Union Level 45 for that beautiful, gorgeous, free 5-star weapon. That weapon, Emerald of Genesis, is the best sword in the game due to its crit rate main stat and high base stats, energy regen, and attack buffs. You should pick the weapon that's best for you and your account, but if you're a Havoc Rover main, you're going to want to grab the Emerald of Genesis. The next best thing is a toss-up between 3 weapons: the Battle Pass Looming Loss, Lunar Cutter, and Commando of Conviction. They all have an attack percent main stat, which isn't ideal when it comes to building with echoes, but their effects are all pretty solid, with Looming Loss giving basic and heavy attack damage bonus that massively benefit Rover. The Commando of Conviction, I don't know why I said it like that, it just feels like it needs to be said like that, gives a huge attack bonus for intro skill, and Lunar Cutter Cutter gives an attack buff that lowers over time. Now, all three of the weapons are pretty close in damage at rank 5, and just depending on the rank you have them at, the one that's best can change. If you don't have any of those, you can craft sword number 18 and get that to rank 5, and it'll be just a little worse than Lunar Cutter. Yeah,